Let's take a look at Celr network. Last time we looked at Celr was on November the 10th. Here is a recap. So Celr is definitely looking very good right now. But before we get all excited and expect Celr to spike up another 30-40%, one thing we need to keep in mind is this. The 10 days, which is the red line, is still traveling the 50-day, which is the white line. For Celr to begin the next bull run, the 10-day has to be able to cross over and lead the 50 days. The good thing is, with this spike up in price, the 10-day starting to reverse direction. And if Celr can continue to stabilize and trend higher, then the probability is very high that within the next few days, we will see this crossover. And once this crossover happens, then Celr will definitely spike up big time. Fast forward, this is the daily chart for Celr network, and the date that I have is to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on November the 20th. Last time when we look at Celr was on November the 10th. That when Celr spiked up on very strong volume, ran all the way to about 15 cents, but was not able to close above the white line, which is the 50 days moving average. The following day, the price retraced. And then after that, Celr has been trying to stabilize right at the 10 days moving average. But unfortunately, on the 15th, that's when Bitcoin started this major retracement in price. And that caused a brief breakdown in the price of Celr network. But here is the thing. What I like to do is compare Celr network to the price of Bitcoin. Right around the 15th, Bitcoin started this retracement in price, and that caused the price of Celr to dip. After that, Bitcoin continued to retrace, but it seemed like Celr very much stabilized and traded sideways. The minute Bitcoin began this reversal in price, we see the price of Celr starting to bounce up. Now, earlier this morning, I uploaded a video in which I did a detailed analysis for Dogecoin. If we compare Celr network to Bitcoin and Dogecoin to Bitcoin, Celr is behaving completely opposite with Dogecoin. So let's take a look at Dogecoin. This is Bitcoin versus Dogecoin. When Bitcoin retraces, and we all know by now that when Bitcoin retraces, it tends to drag the entire market down with that. And that also caused the price of Dogecoin to drop. But here's the difference between Dogecoin and Celr network. The minute Bitcoin seems to find some sort of bottom and starting to bounce back up, Doge is still struggling, still trending down. Celr is different. When Bitcoin dropped initially, Celr follow, but after that it's very much stabilized, and now it is trending up higher. So technically at this moment in time, the chart for Celr network is more bullish than Dogecoin. When the price dipped to about 9 cents, where it's retested this prior all-time high and then bounced right over that, this is an indication that this prior all-time high at around the 10.4 cents would likely provide a very strong support for Celr network. So as long as Bitcoin stabilizes and trend higher, this could potentially be the bottom, and that Celr network would likely stabilize and trend higher. One way to verify whether or not this here is the bottom for this retracement is to determine how much Celr has retraced from reaching this all-time high. So based on the Fibonacci retracement, right now Celr is within this 50 to 61.8% range, which is very normal. So this gives us a high degree of confidence that this could potentially be the bottom for this retracement. A couple of days ago, I believe Tudor asked a question about buy and sell signal. What I'm going to do is, when I spot a buy or sell signal, I will make a video and upload that on my Patreon page. But in a nutshell, for me, right now, Celr network is giving me this semi-buy signal And what do I mean by semi-buy signal? Semi-buy signal because there is a high degree of confidence that this could potentially be the bottom. But given the fact the 10-day is still lagging behind the 50 days, and when this is the case, there's always that possibility for the price to retrace even more. And it is impossible for us to precisely guess at what price Celr network would bottom. But this is telling me that it's a good time to slowly accumulate, because right now the price is low at the point that even if it retraces more, the drop won't be much more than what it is right now. But the potential for the upside is very high because the chart still representing a very bullish looking chart. So when Celr start to bounce up, it will bounce up much higher than the price that we are accumulating right now. So now this is semi-accumulating. When do I think let's say it's like all-in buy signal. All-in buy signal is normally when I see the 10 days cross over and lead the 50-day. Example, right around the middle of August, Celr find bottom at this point, started to bounce up. The minute it crossed over the 10 days, but at that point the 10 days was still lagging behind the 50 days. When it first tried to test that, it get rejected. But the minute the 10 days cross over and lead the 50 days, then we see this beginning of this bull run. So when the 10 days cross over the 50 days, during the retracement and consolidation phase after a major run up in price, that tends to indicate that the price is ready for another spike up in price. And to me, that indicates an all-in buy signal. There is a very high degree of confidence that we don't see the price break down. But as long as the 10 days lag behind the 50-day, for example, right here, we see the big spike up, but it would never be able to continue this momentum because the price get rejected right after that and it continued to trend lower. I hope that makes sense. So this is what I'm looking at. Right now, I am accumulating Celr network. But the key target price that I'm looking for is right at around 13.5 cents. Because if Celr can run up and stabilize at or above 13.5 cents, it would be trading above the red line, which is the 10 days, as well as the white line, which is the 50 days. And by stabilizing over the 13.5 cents, that would allow the 10 days moving average to reverse direction and then eventually cross over and lead the 50 days. That is the signal that we need to see. That would be my all-in buy signal. All of the other indicators continue to look very nice. The Bollinger Band formed out very nicely. We are still in this golden cross and volume is picking up. The price is showing that it is stabilizing or could potentially be bottoming at 10.5. The stochastic oscillator now is showing the blue signal line now is leading the red line. And Celr is still in this neutral zone, so it has a lot more room to run up. Celr is still in the process of forming out this very nice bull flag. Breakout should technically, along with the momentum, should take it to my target price of 40 cents. That's it for this video, and don't forget to click that like button and reward me with a like if you appreciate the content that I'm presenting. Also, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and subscribe, and make sure you turn notification on. And if you have Twitter, make sure you follow me at VietMaxim because I provide constant update on all of our favorite cryptos.